This is Angela Faye. I'm with Karin Forrest today, who has big dreams, and I'm very excited to support her. Karin submitted a question on my business coaching platform, and I asked if she was willing to jump on a podcast because her question is what so many other startups and people in growth phase ask all the time. Instead of just helping Karin, why don't we help a much bigger audience by actually delving in and the same compelling questions that Karin has, I'm sure you might have too. Karin would like to streamline her startup approach by limiting the number of people that she attempts to reach at the outset in order to be effective. She has a goal of offering programs to schools, youth at risk, community centers, treatment and trauma centers, local businesses, veteran affairs, and senior centers. Now, you don't, as listeners, have all of those goals, but here is the question. Can you provide some guidance on what would be an effective approach to have a clear direction on first steps? That, my friend, is where we're jumping into today. So Karin, can you just introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you're up to, because I know I get a sense of who you want to serve, but what's your business?
Yeah, thanks. So, and actually, I like how clear you defined all that, because I'm like, yep, that's what I'm trying to get across. Been inspired to create a business that will serve the needs of my community in all areas. So I realized that as humans, we all have struggles. And it doesn't matter whether we're in the business environment, in the home environment, we all have past issues that they take over. I'm designing a program that is meant to enhance or support other traditional methods that people may be engaged in as far as healing from trauma, things like that. I also have a lens towards the business community because there's been a lot of change in mindset about how one creates a healthy business community, what it means to be part of an organization. And business people are finding that healthy, happy, fulfilled employees produce. So it's a win. And it's really actually exciting the more research I do into this to see that the business community is ready for what I have to offer. So my business is called the Kayak Connection. My tagline is empowering connections for transformational change. I created that to be able to encapsulate all facets because so far I've decided that I will have a for-profit business model, a limited company, which allows me to step forward in offering programs. And then once I get some established flow, I can offer a charity branch within my organization and really start reaching out to the deeper needs, because those relationships will take more time to build. And there's a lot more framework required, especially when it comes to working with youth at risk. My heart's there, but to think I'm going to launch straight into that, there's an awful lot of requirements that need to be met just for safety.
And in the context of your business journey, this is not your first rodeo, right? You have owned businesses before.
Yeah, I've owned traditional businesses before. So I had a landscaping business and I also had a construction business. So I'm well versed in business models and I know, incoming and outgoing and how it all looks at the end of the day. But both my businesses were actually passions of other people. I had partners for both those businesses. So this is a switch because I've taken time to reflect, like this business is a reflection of my true values. And so, the nice part about that is it's not work and it's never going to be work. Anytime that I'm investing time in this creation is of so much value to me on a personal level that's something I'd like to share with people as well. I believe that you can live a purpose-driven life and be successful at it as well. I mean, and for me, my version of success is, like if it's financial success, I can bless people with that. It's just about the flow. So it feels good on all levels.
So I just want to reiterate that it's so important because this is really what we're uncovering today is why purpose can actually drive or should be the first and foundational dig deep on where you start your business. And I'm not talking just startups. I'm also talking as you're looking to scale or grow your business.
Correct.
You could be successful up until now, but the scale side starts really uncovering and defining your purpose. And I love about what you said, Karin, is that as you work on a purpose-driven business, the personal fulfillment is completely enriching.
Mhm.
The service to others and the profits and the social impact come, but they will happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
it clear.
There's no shame in actually making money doing what you love. That's
Yes.
been a mental block for me for quite some time. So it's an important one to push through because we're supposed to live in abundance. So
well,
you know.
and I want to just iterate that sort of this podcast is leading to, we do have a masterclass that anybody's welcome to do. It's 6 ways to live your best life and better the world. And the first step is uncovering and defining your purpose.
Perfect.
We're going to talk about the thinking big, which is what I love that you've done, looking at the grand challenges. And step 3 is imagining and building your next self-awareness story. And that's a really key part. Karin, before we go back and do a little bit of strategy work or uncovering your purpose, are you happy to share? It's a vulnerable moment, I know, but are you happy to share a little bit of what got you here and why this is so important to you?
Oh, 100% actually. So, and I've had this comment lately. I've actually met people that are really seeing my vision. It's because I open with just my heart there, and I don't worry about being vulnerable. So I come from a place where I had a lot of trauma in my upbringing. I used substances and other behaviors to cope with those challenges. And I've spent the last 20 years of my life working through traditional methods of healing. So a lot of the therapies I know about them, I know about the science behind them, and I've also been a student of them. So I really know what I'm talking about. And it's brought me to this point where I'm being shown the value of, like, especially being out on the water and that connection with nature. And I got to experience that over the summer myself, just being in that place where I feel connected again. All the old stories fall away. I have this open perspective on life, and from that place is where I'm able to move into now what I feel is my purpose-driven reason. It all comes from that process, and that's the process that I want to share with people, because I believe in it, because I'm experiencing it myself. And it's the healing that's come from this is truly phenomenal. And then as I go about my day in this new way, all these amazing people start surrounding me that wouldn't have if I was still living in the old tape. So it builds and feeds upon itself. So I think the entrance piece that I can offer is truly transformational, and then it just takes itself from there. So
okay, so we're going to get to what is your compelling offer, whether we have time in this session. If not, we will definitely follow up, because it's an exciting offer. It's a unique setting, doing transformational programs with kayaking as the method or the tool in beautiful, now to launch on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. But let's go back a little bit and let's deep in. So you shared with me your vision and mission statement. Before we get to those, what is a purpose? We call it massively transformative purpose. When we're talking to small and medium businesses, if you're overwhelmed by the word massively transformative purpose, you can just call it a transformative purpose. But they all share these attributes, and I'm going to read them off a little bit. First of all, it is uniquely yours. The next one is it completely inspires you. Karin, you tapped into that when you said you wake up fulfilled and eager to work on this in this service. The third attribute, it is neither too narrow or technology specific. And you've touched on this already beautifully, Karin. It's aimed at the heart and the mind. And finally, it is something that you can declare with total sincerity and confidence. So that are the attributes under massively transformative purpose. It is not necessarily as easy as that to uncover. It can take some work, which is why we have the mastermind, we have the masterclass, we have tools that can help you uncover it for yourself, which I'll share with you. The question that I had for Karin, this will help us uncover a little bit more specifically what your MTP is.
Mhm.
So if someone read your purpose statement, Karin, would they associate it with you?
Yes.
And are you clear on, and you've listed off a lot of people that you could be of value to,
Mhm.
but the original question is, how do you get out the door? How do you focus? So who do you first want to serve?
So I've decided just through exploration actually that I'm going to connect with the business community first, because I believe it's let's see. So I believe that when we look at the individual, there's lots, like everybody that I talk to, it doesn't matter what little bubble I find them in. When I start talking to people on a heart level, it's amazing what people start to share. So I know that this like human connection approach is to benefit the health of the community. So they're all in our community, you know, and there's people out there that need to have this in order to make those shifts that allows them to be their most comfortable best within their context and community. So as far as I see community health, I think that it's a really strong way forward. I think it's very streamlined because I do need simplicity in startup, because my overarching dreams are global. It's very large, and I have learned that I can't operate from that place. It's not feasible. So it feels good. It's landed well. I feel like I have enough support to step forward in confidence in that direction. And it just allows me to move forward and begin. Like, I do want to start very small, because I really now understand the value of the scaling approach. So it just allows me to define my program, run my program. I can even start calling it like a trial program and just offer it and do test runs and get feedback. And I feel confident that I'm able to make the connections necessary to launch that way. So it's sitting well with me.
So what you're talking about is experimentation, which is actually one of the attributes of an exponential organization. That is for another podcast, but I want to come to you for a moment. So we're talking about business. Business is a very broad scope. So I'm going to ask you another question, okay? Because we're gonna take some time. We're gonna refine, even in the process of this podcast.
Perfect.
You know, what part of the business community?
Perfect.
In doing so, what impact do you want to create for the people that you serve? You kind of answered it a bit. I want to ask a little bit more, very, very specific on what impact.
So the impact that I would like to achieve is for people to come away after being involved in my program with the ability to take that pause in their day, find their center, to ground, and then to navigate challenges from a seated place of wisdom, to come from a place of clarity, I guess, mental clarity. That might be a better expression for what I'm trying to get across.
And it's okay. All of these questions are leading down a path. So just this process, okay, for a little bit.
Yeah. So I'd say that they can gain, mental clarity. So, so you're not making decisions from some emotionally based historical view.
Okay. So, and I love some of these words. This is awesome. We're going to be able to play this back for you. But let me ask as well, the problem that they're experiencing, because in order to be in business really and be successful in your business foundations, we need to come up with a compelling offer.
Yes.
And a market dominating position.
Yes.
Getting there. But they have to have a problem that they don't want. What is the problem that they don't want?
Okay, so I would say that what I've seen in the past couple of years and what I'm getting feedback on is that the world is turned upside down. There's a lot of shift that needs to happen within business framework in order for businesses to...
Karin,
yes.
One sec before we move on.
Yeah.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to imagine that you're talking to a person.
Mhm.
Person has a face. They have a persona.
Yeah.
They are the person that is going to say, I need you. I know that. Here you go.
Yes.
So imagine that person. So instead of talking generally, just talk about that person. What is the problem that that person has that they don't want?
Okay, so the problem that the person is having is that their organization doesn't have the capability to be flexible enough to make large shifts in business practices. And in order to keep their business viable in the changing climate, they need to have these that can think outside the box. They need to be able to shift into solutions is what they need. We have to get out of the rigid roles and come up with that creative flexibility that's required.
And I'm going to suggest that chances are the organization is not agile and cannot respond to changing environment. They might not be resilient. If going back to exact comment you said,
right,
because they're stuck in a current set.
Yeah.
Right. What's keeping them stuck? Now, this is why you can serve them over. I mean, there's, you know, thousands of transformational business coaches out in the world.
Yes.
What can you do that nobody else can do that you know is an insight or a roadblock that's stopping them from being agile and being able to serve their own business? What's the roadblock?
The roadblock is that they're not connected to their place of wisdom so that they can open their mind to just looking at everything with a fresh perspective. They're stuck in their groove or in their how do I actually get this across? So they need to come out with me and allow me to open the window to looking at their problems from a fresh perspective so they can come up with creative solutions. Okay.
Can we be, based on your story, and I love it, tapping into their own wisdom? I think that will happen. What is there anything stopping them from tapping into their own wisdom?
Yeah, it's their ego.
Okay.
And they still think if they keep control and keep trying to do what they're doing, somehow it's going to make an effective shift.
So now we're going to jump into, is the person that we're talking to, is it a male or a female?
Let's see. I'm thinking
I mean, it doesn't matter really.
It's still fairly male dominated.
It could be a they, them. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to.
It's still fairly male dominated. Like, I think the female business owners are going to be much more receptive to this. I think the male is going to take a little bit more coaching.
Okay. So that female, I'm going to say business owner. So female business owners, what has happened to them? The little girl, right? What has happened to them in the past that they're stuck in ego?
Well, it's fear-based, right? It's a safety thing. People like to have control of their environment in order to feel safe, and they will stand in their position. So it's a fear-based position that most of us operate from, and it's really difficult to think, hey, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna put down all my defense tools and all my strategies on life, and I'm going to have a look around and think, hey, is there another way of looking at this? That's very vulnerable.
So can we go back 1 second? Because and one thing that we're in the process of doing, and I'm going to write this sentence out in the description, but we're going to create a market dominating position for you so that when you, instead of handing people your business card or saying, you know, in order to find out what I do, you have to watch this long podcast. In one sentence, we're going to fill in these blanks. It says help blank, achieve blank by blank. Okay. Right. So this is where we're going to get to today. So at the moment, we're really close. Okay. So at the moment, we help female business owners. The next compelling question is, what is the solution that they want that they don't have yet?
Yes, the solution they don't have is
the solution they want and don't have.
not creative mindset, but something like that. Let's see, that's such a great, it's so hard to express it. So you're coming from a position of, well, it's intuitive wisdom. I mean, it just like when you get in that place and then the solutions just come. Because like innately we already know, right? There's some innate wisdom involved in this.
So I want to play back to what I think I heard you say.
Yeah.
And I'm going to suggest that this is not necessarily the be all and end all, but this is a great starting point.
Yes.
Okay. So just for this exercise, if you don't mind, just close your eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be you and I'm Karin walking around maybe a business networking group, or I'm talking to the people that I ideally want to serve, whether you're cold calling, you're walking in the door and saying, this is what I do, or somebody's actually picked up the phone and said, Karin, can you help me? You're in one of these, right? So I help female business owners tap their inner wisdom by connecting them to water and nature to achieve more social impact in their organization.
Wow. I like it. Because I'll start talking about neuroplasticity. To be totally honest, I'm a ways off of streamlining my approach because I'm still in that, right? I'm still in the creative process myself. So
Of course you are.
Yeah.
So if I may,
yes,
or if you're comfortable, compare that. Now, you need to reverse engineer a little bit your massively transformative purpose.
Yes.
You have the start of a market dominating position, right? You help people do this. And if you can, and a little bit of why now, right? Or why the imperative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Into that sentence.
Yes.
Okay. Then you will have a great mission and vision statement. Okay. So you know, you help. I'm going to reiterate that, and I might not have it nailed, but we're pretty close.
It's fantastic. Yeah, that's like, thank you.
Their problem we haven't fully unleashed yet. It's and I'll describe it as they're probably not going to pay, okay, till the problem is a problem that they need to pay for.
Yes.
If they're working on personal development, this is a solution if they are feeling unsettled, unrest, maybe they're unhealthy, maybe their trauma is showing up and they just want it, that's personal development.
Yes.
If they want to work on organizational development, okay, you need to bring in the compelling piece,
right?
What is happening in their business that is, and so it might be in the age of disruption, or it might be because their industry is becoming redundant, or their cash, they haven't experienced the pandemic resurgence and they cash poor, whatever the compelling
reason, I totally see
what
you're saying. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you need to differentiate. Are you trying to tap into women entrepreneurs on a personal development level, or you catch them in a business? Obviously, as the owner, the entrepreneur at the helm, the health and well-being of the entrepreneur at the top absolutely has a trickle effect, and everybody's connected. Everybody in the organization is going to feel it.
Yeah, and I guess it's such an interesting question that you pose, because I am coming at it from a personal level, but I want to serve the business community because the health of that's so important for how the health of the whole community. Like if all of a sudden all our businesses shut down because COVID killed them and they're all boarded up, that's the health of the community. Like it's a real fallout piece, but it does stem from the health of the individual. Like part of the idea of the program is that when you have these tools, you'll be so excited about it that you're naturally going to share it with other people. So it is a leadership development solution.
Yes.
but it's so personally based. So I'm going to have to really sort that through. I haven't had a proper look at that.
So
Yeah.
your massively transformative purpose,
Mhm.
describe the attributes, which you can, revisit in the recording, but in a podcast, that the attributes, that's the big picture. That's what people are going to buy in
Mhm.
to at a grander scale.
Mhm.
These are the things that you put on your LinkedIn profile. These are the things that you say, this is my aspiration.
Yeah.
And your market dominating position
Mhm.
is your clarity statement.
Yeah.
Okay. Built in with a little bit of a compelling offer.
Mhm.
Right? Those two things together. So the combination of your MTP and your market dominating position.
Yeah.
So that so you can differentiate between the people who are transacting with.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The MTP is about who you are engaging with. They can enroll the community, the crowd.
Mhm.
Everybody's going to remember what Karin does because of your vision.
Yeah.
Who you are transacting with.
Yes.
And exchanging money and serving comes down to your market dominating position. Why
I totally see it. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
Yeah.
the kayak connection.
Yes.
Karin Forrest, I'm super excited about keeping up and finding out more about what you do. And is there a way that people can connect with you now, Karin?
Oh my goodness. Yes. Well, let's see. What a great question. You know what? You put me on the spot and I'm not totally sure how to answer that. Other than I would actually just offer my personal email at this point because I'm not at that stage. So it's Karin Forrest, all one word, KarinForrest @gmail.com. And I would welcome any kind of opportunity to discuss, get feedback, find out more needs, people that are interested in following what I'm creating here, because this is also a community effort. I mean, there's a lot of people getting excited about it because they want to see my vision come to fruition, because we all hopefully want to live and work in a healthy community. So yeah.
So I'm going to keep you on for 1 more minute.
Okay.
Okay. Well, maybe 5 more minutes.
Okay.
Because I want to dig one little bit. Who are the people who you have connected with that have given you some early indications, some good support? Can you give me an example?
So I've spoken with someone who's a grade 9 teacher, and he's connecting me with a program, and it's bringing the outdoors back to youth, because they're seeing just within the school system how detrimental it is that kids don't get outside anymore. They're on screens all the time. So there's an actual program that's been created in Nanaimo, and I'll make a connection with them. And, he's very, very excited about my program. So wants to, again, follow along, liaison where he can. There's another fellow that I connected with who does photography, but he's coming at natural connection, but from a sustainability viewpoint. And he's written a book. He's involved in the school system. And I'm going to meet with him actually today. And he's going to actually let me use his visuals for my profile marketing, all that kind of stuff. And it's some spectacular, it really, really, and just have the, the commonality of like having sort of the same vision, different veins, but, and just like lives in the community, so that I'm meeting people that are here embedded in the areas I want to go towards, that are really like, I want to be a part of this in any way that I can. And so it's just helping me to connect. And there's another woman that I connected with, and she works for one of the local treatment centers and the trauma unit there specifically. And we've now taken to going for a walk once a week so that we can just share life, discuss, connect on a deeper level. But she's also going to be a contact to go forward in that. So just little examples of going about my day and talking with people.
So I'm going to give you a clue and insight on how to convert those early wins.
Okay.
Ready? So the first example was a teacher that believes that we need a way to get kids off their screen and connect them to nature. So I'm going to go back to who you want to serve. Do you believe that there are any women entrepreneurs who part of their roadblock is perhaps balancing work and family, and they have a little bit of guilt or uncertainty of how to impart a connection with nature to their children.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that there might be some women entrepreneurs
Oh, 100%.
that would have that problem?
Yeah.
Okay. Can
All
you
of
make
them.
them an offer?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Yeah,
Can you make them an offer?
I can.
What would you offer them?
I would offer them the support when they're doing what they need to be doing to support their family, that I take the time to connect with their children and show them this life that's there.
And what does that look like, really simplified?
The idea is to have my class 4 so I can take my van up and my kayaks and grab them after school, and I take them. I'm just going into inner safe waters, very calm bays, and we go out for a couple of hours and we connect. Gives them a chance to talk about things that are going on. I show them some neat stuff. They go, wow. Like I took my daughter and one of her friends, and just what I was doing with them in the summer, but I saw them turn back into little children, just like picking up a starfish. And now they were open. The screens were gone, they were open, and all of a sudden the connection was happening.
Okay.
So,
and how many people can you accommodate at one time? Right
so
now.
I take 5 people out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
maximum 5.
So anybody that wants to connect with Karin for a group setting of 5 people, moms and children, okay, in this community on a kayaking adventure for a half day or full day, got Karin's email, Karin@gmail.com.
Right.
If you want private session, totally available.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
There's your first offer.
Easy.
You need to go back to what is the problem that they have, right, that they don't want, and what is the solution that they want but they don't have.
Right. I see it.
Karin, I want to salute your bravery, by the way, or just more of a, instead of a warm fuzzy hug, to do this strategy session live.
It's so fun, Ange. Yeah.
I guess my question is, do you feel clearer in either the process of uncovering your purpose, or do you feel like, wow, like I'm energized and I feel clearer to my purpose?
So can I say like 1,000%? Like the clarity piece and how to define this, like I've been very much struggling with that, and the ease with which you have managed to define so many variables for me in such a short period of time is amazing. Yeah, just it's amazing. Yeah, you have a gift, and thank you for blessing me with it today. Yeah.
Karin, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Ange. Bye.